Well, hello and welcome. My name is Mark Epner. I'm a Chicago-based pilot with over half of my 2,000 plus hours in a Cirrus SR-22. Currently, I fly this 2011 normally aspirated G3, but also fly other aircraft when the opportunity presents itself. I love flying every bit as much as you do and look for ways to share that common bond through multiple paths, including this channel, as well as Simple Flight Radio, which you can find at simpleflight.net. My goal for the channel is to share my passion for aviation with others that share that same sentiment and do so with an eye towards proficiency, safety, and fun. Well, hello and welcome. I know it's been a while since my last video, but I just don't want to put video out after video after video of takeoffs and landings where the only thing that changes is the destination. If you find value in that, great, let me know, because I love making videos. But rather, I'd like to focus on just extending our reach, talking about new topics, finding things that have value for both the pilot community and non-pilot community. So it was great when I received a suggestion when one viewer asked me, what's my pre-flight routine? I thought, wow, that's really a good topic that we haven't had before. And as I think about the pre-flight routine, it's not, I want to go flying in 30 minutes. Let's take the example when I want to go flying next week. So what do I think about? What tools do I use? How do I get from the point of initial idea of a trip to the actual execution? So what I think about at a high level is three topics. First, airport selection, because sometimes I'm going to a city I've never gone to before, and I don't know what my airport options are. So I'm going to look first at the physical attributes, things like from my destination, what airports are within a reasonable radius so I can consider the different options that exist for me. Once I get into the radius, I thought, okay, look at all the airports. What's their runway configuration? How long are the runways? What magnetic heading are they? What surface material? And is it in poor, fair, or excellent condition? What about instrument approaches? Are they available? What are the minimums? Maybe the hours of operation of the airport is also a factor. And that's just so the physical attributes. And then I go on to, how about the services available from an FBO or some other facility that's there? Fuel, full serve, self-serve. What are the prices? What are their hours? Do they have a crew car? If I need to put the airplane in a hangar, do they have that? What about maintenance? Do they offer maintenance should I need maintenance upon arriving? I'll look at comments about what other pilots say. Are they friendly? Are they not very good? All of those things go into considering both airport and FBO. From there, my second topic will be all about route selection. So I start with a line from my origin and draw it to my destination. What does that route look like? What kind of terrain does it take me over? What kind of airspace does it take me through? There's lots of considerations, and I'm going to go through an example, so I'm not going to get any deeper into it than that, but say this is really critical. And of course, the third piece is the weather. And yes, if I'm a week out, I don't know that I trust any forecast, but I start checking the weather from that moment until my trip, and I'll continue all the way to a few minutes before departure. And how I do it may surprise you, because a lot of people assume that I use an EFB like Preflight, and I do. But I also use another app that I think you're going to find a little bit interesting and maybe that you haven't heard about before. So with all of that as an introduction and a setup, let's get into it. So as far as route planning goes, I'm going to go into Preflight. I'm using the desktop version, but I can easily do this on my iPhone or iPad as well. Let's go ahead and put in a flight plan. So I click my FPL, and we're going to fly from KPWK to KAKR. So here's the line in my initial from Chicago Executive all the way down here to Akron Fulton. Well, the first thing I notice is this broad stretch of the route line that goes over Lake Michigan. So I'm going to want to change my route to go around the west side of Chicago. I don't go down the lake shore, by the way, because if I have to pull the parachute in the Cirrus, the winds are generally moving to the east, so it will just take me out over the lake anyway. So I'm going to change my route. The other things I will consider are what airspace am I going to be going over? Any special use airspace, MOAs, military operation area, Charlies, bravos, deltas, things that may conflict with what I'm trying to do. I'm going to look at what the obstacles are. Let's go ahead and I'm going to zoom in, and there is the Chicago Bravo, O'Hare, and the Midway Charlie down here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the route line and I'm going to pull this over here and say I want to go into the 3000 ring, and I'll be going down on kind of an angle, so to maybe here. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit so I can see all of the Bravo and Charlie. So I want to stay in the 3000. I want to get south of the Bravo and west of the Charlie. So I'm just going to grab at any point here, grab the route and pull it down here. So let's say down here just outside the Bravo and Charlie, and I'm going to add that to the route. So now I've got a general route that takes me west of O'Hare, down between the DuPage Delta and the O'Hare Bravo, and then avoid the Midway Charlie and stay out of the Bravo until down here, and then I can just go straight line to my destination. So now let's see what that looks like as I zoom out and move this over. I'm then going to check what does that mean at my destination. So let me zoom in on this. And I say, okay, AKR, Akron Fulton International, is underneath the Akron Canton Regional Airport, Charlie. And that airspace goes from 2,500 to 5,200 in this ring. So if I'm VFR, I'm going to need to be below 2,500 feet coming in. So I kind of think about that as I add to the puzzle. Now I look right outside, and I'm going to bring this down here and zoom in and look at this. Here, just outside where I have to be at 2,500, just north, is a tower that's almost 2,100 feet high MSL. So now I'm starting to put in the back of my brain, all right, I'm going to be squeezed a little bit south if I have any visibility issues or get confused. And if I believe I'm on this line coming in, and I think, oh my goodness, where is that tower? I'm probably going to first react to turn south away from it, knowing that it's out here. But again, these are all just considerations. Now I'm going to back up and I go, okay, here is the Bravo for Cleveland that my route has me going through. So I may choose either to go south of that, or I'm going to look in, I'll zoom out and see what altitude. That's 4,000 to 8,000 feet is in this ring right here. So I want to be below 4,000 feet, but yet there's another consideration here. If I'm going VFR, I'm either going to be at 3,500 or 5,500. What's the exception to that rule? I know that if I am below 3,000 foot AGL, I don't have to follow that 35 or 5,500. So I can actually, because I believe it's 1,200 foot airport elevations here, I could be at 3,900 and I'll be under that ring. So as I pull back, I'm looking at, okay, here's 1,700 for the VFR sectional. So I know that anything over 1,700, I'm going to have obstacle clearance. But as I get into this sector, it's 2,100. So I'm going to find my highest obstacles. And anyway, I'm going to continue this, pulling back, looking at what my options are for diversion airports. I'm looking for airspace. I'm looking for other things that could impact towers, obstacles. And of course, we can add weather to this as we approach the departure date. So once I have that, I feel like I have a pretty good route. We can move on to the next phase. And that next phase is all about weather. So I use a product called Weathermeister. It's a browser-based application that is also fee-based. I use either it's $50 to $70 a year. And the reason why I use it, it provides some very cool features for a very quick brief, if you will. So this is the About page, and you can see, for instance, METARs. They use regular and plain English. And everything's color-coded, so I know to look for the red and blue items. And then white items are things that aren't significant. So they have METARs. They'll have also a TAF, again with different color coding. Sample winds aloft. Red is headwind, green is tailwind. Then you can get a flight optimizer, which gives you best speed or best economy altitudes for your flight. Then we get into PIREPs and AirReps, which also are very, very cool in terms of quickly identifying where there are issues. And then the NOTAMs, which will be for your entire route of flight. Red will indicate closures, yellow might indicate services being limited. And the closures could be a runway, a taxiway, or an airport. So let's see how it all comes together in terms of our flight to Akron. When I log in, I'm presented with a home base, a route, an area, or recent tab. So I have the home base set up as Milwaukee or Chicago Executive, and it gives me a 50-mile radius layout. And if I hit go, it will provide me with a briefing that, again, has everything for multiple days, what's going on here. But let's skip that for a moment, because what I want to put in here is my route. So I'm going to go back to the main weather page. I'm going to select route. KPWK is already in there as my default. And then as my destination, I'm going to type KAKR. And then I'll come down to departure time. It starts as a default of 2 hours from now, but I'm actually going to push it out, and I'm just going to say 50 hours from now. And then I'm going to say get route briefing. So you see, and it's sorry for the brightness, but I get a map with our area, and you can see as I mouse over the departure point, my airport, over on the side, we get METARs, we get information about the airport. Likewise, I can go down here to the destination, and you get information about that airport and the METAR there. There's TFRs listed. There'll be special use airspace, MOAs, so on and so forth. So I'm also going to select next rad down, so that will show on this. And as I can zoom in and zoom out, this could be out for the whole United States. But we zoom in and you get to see all the green dots indicate VFR airports. So it looks pretty good. Notice it shows that route like we saw in Preflight, which goes right across Lake Michigan. As I scroll down, we get the route elevation. This is based on the actual terrain and not obstacles. The flight optimizer, based on current conditions, tells me my best speed will be at 7,000 feet, my best economy at 15,000 feet, and gives all of the climb, cruise, and descent portions of the flight. Active TFRs within 25 nautical miles of the route, on what day, and gives us information about that. METARs for all along the way. The only time I see any color coding here is for 100% humidity at Sierra 24, and it just shows a limited visibility of 8 statute miles. But if there were other important, like convective weather, other things like that, they would show up in color coding. PIREPs are here, which is great. And by the way, I should point out, anytime you point at any of the wind column here, it gives you the crosswind component for every runway at that airport. So that's pretty cool. There says there are no active SIGMETs along the route of flight. Below that, I have the surface map and radar. Then I have the national radar mosaic. Then I go into the regional views of the geosatellite images. From there, I get all active SIGMETs across the country. And then I go into the AirMets. I can change the time, 0300, 600, or 900, or 1200. And it checks for IFR, turbulence, icing, mountain obscuration, wind shear, and surface winds, sunrise and sunset data, and then TAFs for along the route. And as you can see, down here, even has temporary in blue for 3 miles in rain showers, scattered 2,000, overcast 5,000, marginal VFR. Scrolling down, I'll get what I think is pretty important. I have the National Weather Service forecast, so I can go out days. I'll go out a week, where of course your TAFs only go out about 24 hours. So you see, if I were to go on Friday afternoon by departure point, it shows in blue the wind because it's 12 to 20 knots, And then under weather, you see chance of moderate rain showers in yellow and slight chance of thunderstorms in red. And it could say definitely severe thunderstorms. It gives different values for each of the precip kinds. And then we come to KAKR at 5 p.m. on Friday. It's saying likely moderate rain showers and chance of thunderstorms, or a slight chance of thunderstorms, or likely light rain showers. So it's pretty cool, even though I don't trust it that far out. At least it gets my mind kind of in the mode of understanding what's yet to come. From there, I go to 12, 24, 36, and 48-hour front and precipitation maps, followed by day 3 fronts and pressure, day 4, day 5, and day 6. Special use airspace is next highlighted, and finally NOTAMs. And what I really like here, again, is the idea of for my entire route, I can, dare I say, ignore the white items, but the red items are runway closures. This is O'Hare, so there's a lot there. You saw the screen flash, it refreshes every 5 minutes. Here it's 06 Charlie, self-serve fuel, not available. More runway closures at different airports. You also see things like the actual airport close. I'm looking for one. I believe there's one along the route. Yeah, 6 Tango 2, Aerodrome Airport closed. Again, fuel not available. Parachute jumping exercise. Hold pad number 5 closed down here. So what this does for me as I look through the entire one page, albeit a long page briefing, I can at a glance pick out all the color-coded items to know where are my issues and where are things not an issue. Again, the weather is a little far out, but if I continue to check it, I'll always have an updated view. And I do spend a little bit more time at the top with things like METARs, TAFs, PIREPs, so on, and TFRs, of course. So it's an excellent tool to help me understand how weather plus my route planning plus my airport selection comes together. Again, my goal was not to train you on this, but merely to let you know how I pre-flight plan for a trip that's upcoming. And I'm interested to hear whether you feel the same way and you do the same things, or what tools you may use. Our power comes from sharing, and I look forward to your feedback in the comments section below. And until the next time, blue skies and tailwinds.